results from this project come from research which I am currently pursuing, with one of the projects, Comment, being a joint venture between FHV and TUS and other partners from across Europe. It is an Erasmus-funded project. And I'm also currently involved in the SHINE project, which is a EU cost action, which is with the key emphasis on this being on multidisciplinary innovation for social change. And as part of this project, we have looked at the key concept of social innovation. And here in the next few slides, I'm just going to provide some definitions, some overviews on what we consider social innovation to be. So in the first instance, it can be rather basic. It can be a more generalized version. Social innovations are new ideas that meet social needs, create social relationships, and form new collaborations. These innovations can be products, services, or models addressing unmet needs more effectively. And that is the definition which comes from the European Commission itself. And it is, innovation is very much trying to bring about strong networking relationships to solve either societal, environmental, or economic problems. Social innovation is reconfiguring social practices, responding to societal challenges, engaging with local civil society actors, and achieving enhanced well-being. So it is always very important to remember that there is a very strong civic, social dimension to social innovation. It has an added value, and that always needs to be considered. More specific, it's a new answer to social needs or societal challenges, regardless of the nature of the innovation, whether it takes place in technology, services, or new uses. And it operates through a collaborative approach that involves beneficiaries, users, and affected stakeholders, and that it has a positive, sustainable, and measurable impact. And that is very important, that whatever type of social innovation that is pursued or developed, the impact which it has on society needs to be calculated and measured. Oh, and from the academic literature, we can see as well that there are many different definitions associated with it. It is a contested concept. Okay, it's very hard to pin it down to one specific maybe concept or idea. And it has different meanings to different people, and social innovations are social in terms of both their ends and their means. They create a social value in addition to or instead of an economic one. A social innovation is considered an implementation of new ideas with the potential to improve the quality of life, which may include aspects of education, social welfare, social cohesion, and environmental quality. And from very much from a community development perspective, it's community-driven social innovations contribute to life satisfaction and happiness. So it can mean, as you can see from these different authors, it means different things to them. It can, but overall, it is bringing about a better well-being to our society, but also responding to specific challenges or changes which are occurring not only in society, but in the environment and the economy. And coming from a project which we're looking at the present time on rural resilience, how to create and foster resilient rural communities across Europe, social innovation is at the heart of formulating and developing a resilient community. It feeds into the sociological systems, It is at the heart of endogenous development, where we have a collaboration between different actors, and it very much feeds into the concept of the quadruple helix. Endogenous development does allow us to allows for policymakers to interact with community actors and civil society in order to develop a partnership approach to solve a societal problem, environmental problem, or economic challenge. Social innovation allows us to build up social capital, allow communities, individuals to have strong networks and to work in a cohesive manner. It also allows for co-production, and it is a key cornerstone of both social entrepreneurship and the development of social enterprises and regional development theory. We can see, for instance, with regards to social enterprises or social entrepreneurs are very adept and able to bring about new solutions to solve problems. More often than not, the market or the state have neglected maybe a disadvantaged or peripheral location. They're not providing the goods or services which a local population requires. And in that absence, social entrepreneurs, social enterprises have developed and filled that gap and making those locations more sustainable places to live in. And that is by bringing about new ideas, new concepts to fill that marketplace. And finally, what I want to touch on here is the quadruple helix. It's very important, as I said, that there needs to be collaboration between not only the state through policymakers and its affiliated agencies, but also there also needs to be interaction between civil society organizations, community development organizations, higher education institutions, and industry. All key partners coming around the table to solve a problem or challenge within a particular community or within a region. And this partnership approach is rather strong here in Ireland, because it had led in the early 1990s to the development of the LEADER program, not only here in Ireland but across Europe, and that would be a very good example of the quadruple helix in action. And it is very important to acknowledge that it is only through a partnership approach that social innovation can occur. There needs to be an element of multidisciplinarity. And this part of the presentation has provided maybe some of the theoretical concepts. And now I will hand over to Michael to talk about one example of an inclusive community lab. And then at the end of the presentation, I will give some examples of how we have are in the process of developing some joint programs. So
thank you, Shane, thank you, Shane, for this introduction into this concept of social innovation. And I just want to give you a brief insight into our concrete collaboration in this working package for the last months and years. And one of our networking events was called Science Meets Regions. And this was one of the successful and interesting platforms where we met colleagues inside of this RunEU network. And by the way, I want to thank Ellen de Bruin from the NHL who gave me these slides, which she used exactly in these meetings. Next slide, please, Shane. as Shane already mentioned in the beginning, it's not a rigid definition what we use in this question of social innovation. And in this working package 5, we wanted to go deeper into some specific scientific areas. And these are the following areas: health and well-being, culture and creative industries, tourism, social science and social transformations, and education. Next slide, please. It's once again a little bit about social innovation, and I don't want to repeat it, but in our working group, in our meetings, we focused on some specific fields of actions in specific activities. And we used these 4 concepts for it: facilitating, networking, making connections, disseminate, as already mentioned by the former speaker as well, and transferability. And these are the transfer of the concept of social innovation into our cooperation. Next slide, please. How did we try to go deeper into social innovations? We used different concepts like the core concepts: commitment, ownership, responsibility, and excellence. That's the background of the core concept. I don't want to go through these headlines in detail, but you know already several of these concepts: design factory, networking meetings. I don't think that it is necessary to define these words. I think most of you can imagine what it is beyond. We approached the topics via different activities, and these are the activities we have chosen. Next slide, please, Shane. In concrete terms, we brought together people, first of all, already work together with one in successful cooperation. One of these successful cooperations are the SAPs, short advanced programs in the field of prevention of the social exclusion of young people. Another SAP was the power of prevention in the social and health system. And we had existing networks with people who work together already. And this was the idea to deepen these existing networks, not looking for new topics, but to deepen existing networks and successful cooperations, which we had already in the RUN-EU project. Other examples and formats were the MOP, Sustainable Social Justice, or a project launched by NHL about culture care in a European program called Creative Europe. People met one another, people had ideas, and then we identified a program for these ideas, and we went to a project application, which is not yet successful, but I'm quite sure that we will get some good news the next months, because we tried again. Next slide, please, Shane. I think you will get the slides to read it through. It's about good networking again. And I think good networking builds up on 3 elements: on people, on attitude, and on environment. And we try to offer good networking conditions, bringing together these 3 elements, and sometimes we succeeded, sometimes we failed. One of the challenges, to say it clear, was to find stability of topics and people. This is one of the key factors to continue or to find good projects. And this was my lesson learned, that it is important to have a, let's say, as much stability in these groups as possible, because it's the basic of developing ideas and go into progress with specific ideas. Next slide, Shane, please. And I'm already on my last slide. We combined, yeah, this one, yes. We combined stakeholders and representatives from different areas, from advocacy groups, from business and policy institutions, students, active community members, especially from the region as well, which is an important stakeholder, regional government and municipalities. And we can repeat actually the beginning of Shane at this stage again. The objective was to enable communities come together with experts in scientific areas and research centers to find questions and to solve these questions in the field of social challenges. The final, let's say, the final mission of this group through the last months was that we want to be a network of people first, and from this network we want to develop projects. That's it from my point of view. I want to thank Shane for bringing together the slides and hand over to you, Shane, and apologize that I'm not able to participate in the afternoon. So Shane, we are all yours again.
Thank you very much, Michael, and I apologize for the slight interruption in your last slide there. So what I'm going to do, speak to you now is very briefly is one project which we have completed or nearly completed, and that is the Comment project, Fostering Innovation in Community-Led Enterprise Development. This was a project funded by the Erasmus+, and as you can see, we had numerous partners in the project, including FHV, and we also had a university in Bulgaria, an accreditation body for business programs based in Germany, research center in Italy, and social enterprises here in Ireland and in Romania. And what this project was all about was for communities themselves to be equipped to develop their own community-owned enterprises, so that the funds generated by the business would be reinvested back into the community. And there are numerous good examples of this type of social enterprise in existence here in Ireland. And for this project, we developed a suite of case studies from each country, and developed a guide, a state of the art of the topic, which will be published in the next week or two on our project website. We had a series of meetings in each country, and from that we developed a certificate in community enterprise, a special purpose award with 15 ECTS credits, and it has been delivered online for this current semester. We have students from each of the partner countries, and even one student from Nigeria has participated in the programme. Yes, this programme has been accredited by the TUS, but all of the university partners, including FHV, have had an active role in the design, development and delivery of the programme. It, as I said, it commenced in September 23, and we cover all of the key requirements for an individual or a community to set up their own enterprise, and to have that enterprise owned by the community and for the community. And I suppose it's very important maybe to define as well what is a community enterprise, and this was one of our first tasks which we did as part of this project, and it very much feeds into the area of regional development. And we defined it as an organisation owned and managed by the community, whose mission and vision are centered on serving individuals from a defined geographical area. And these are predominantly disadvantaged locations, and it can also include communities of interest, i.e. working with marginalized groups in society. This makes community enterprises a distinct group within the wider social enterprise sector, not only trading for social purposes, but reinvesting any profits in ways that provide benefits to a particular community. And we are hoping as a group in the group of organizations who are part of this project are meeting in the next few weeks to figure out how we're going to develop this idea further and whether or not we'll apply for other funding into the future and to continue our partnership. And finally, I want to speak to you briefly about some new joint programs that we're trying to develop. Two of them are, one of them is one is master's and the other is a PhD. So the master's in leadership in the community and voluntary sector was an idea spurned from some of my colleagues within the Department of Applied Social Sciences. And we have had a series of meetings with colleagues in other RunEU partner organizations over the past year and a half. We've been trying to get to know each other, and that takes time. And we're trying to figure out what is taught in each of the social enterprise, in each of the social sciences departments, and to figure out what elements could be incorporated into a joint program on this topic. We here in TUS, we have a PhD in social sciences. It was developed by our colleagues in the Midlands campuses, and I believe it's up for review in the next short while. We are hoping maybe this may be the opportunity for RunEU partners and ourselves to come together to see whether or not we can develop a joint program in this area, and for students to pursue so many credits through taught classes, and with the remainder being the research dissertation. And what we've been doing is looking at as well the different pathways to accreditation, because we are acutely aware that there's different accreditation processes in each of the partner countries, and to try to map that out to meet the requirements of the program and for the benefit of the student. And what we're doing now as well is we're trying to determine the level of involvement required by each partner organization, and hopefully over the next few months we will hopefully get these programs developed. So thank you, and if anyone has any questions, please let me know. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much, Shane and Michael, for your presentation. And I think yet again, this was about social innovation, but also this is a topic that is very broad and should be covered holistically. That's at least what I heard. And also the collaboration is really important to establish a good collaboration with partners in the societal region, but also within the network itself within RunEU. Michael and Siobhan also mentioned the SAPs, short advanced programs. I will be sharing in the last slide of this ICARUS conference the site of RunEU, where everything new is presented considering SAPs or other training programs. So please feel free to take a look. I'll also put it in the chat if you want to look at it right now. What we will also be doing is, again, put the survey link in the chat for you to complete. And just a reminder that Tony just asked you also to complete his questions. There's, I think, someone in the chat. The link to the RunEU website is in the chat right now. So if you want to take a look at it during the lunch break, feel free. Again, we're running ahead of schedule. I don't know if anyone from the RunEU Alliance wants to comment on something, maybe Siobhan or Tony, or otherwise we can have a bit longer lunch break. So that won't be a problem, I guess. Siobhan, you
Whoops, I've just
hand.
ruined. Yeah, I won't be popular. I've just ruined that extra few minutes for them.
Oh, no
thanks
problem.
very much for a very interesting presentation to you both. And I do have a question. What challenges do you think social organizations, like not-for-profit organizations, what challenges would they face if they were to collaborate with colleges on research projects, be it PhDs or any type of a project?
I might go first. I suppose coming from my own perspective here in Ireland, so the biggest challenge for community development organizations is primarily they're not as wealthy or they do not have the same amount of funds as maybe other industries, maybe in science or engineering. And so they may find difficulties in maybe partly funding these type of programs. And I suppose secondly, there's a lot of volunteerism activity associated with the community and voluntary sector, and therefore they may not have the relevant personnel to collaborate. They're usually very busy organizations as well, so that the labor commitment could be a difficulty too.
Okay,
yes,
Shane, thanks.
I would like to add two aspects. One is that our organizations, let's say in the German-speaking countries at least, are really the challenging is the shortage of skilled workers, and we are running out of all of skilled workers, social workers, nurses, pedagogics, psychologists, and that's really one of the main challenges for the social organizations. And the second thing is social innovation comes not because we want to have it. Social innovations needs time. It needs networks, the places, the space to come together. And that's exactly what they stop because they need the workers in their services. So in the cooperation between social organizations and universities, spaces are the main lack from my point of view, bringing them together.
Okay, thank you. So again, it just points out that when we're developing this program, that we need to make sure that we consult with the organizations that we want to collaborate with, so they tell us what they need, and then we develop a flexible framework that will make sure that our research collaboration is effective, in terms of funding, and as you say, Michael, whatever else they need, because maybe they're not in a position to collaborate, and they are the organizations who we can help and who we should be helping. So yeah, that's great insight. Thank you very much.
So thank you. If there are any other questions, I think Shane or Michael, one of you is still sharing your screen. Is that correct?
Not me.
Thank you. I saw myself 3 times. That's too much. Okay. No other questions at the moment? Okay, then we will be going on an early lunch break, I guess. It's 4 minutes to 12 in the Netherlands. We'll be back at 1 o'clock Central European time. Enjoy your lunch break, and please don't forget to fill in the survey, and back again at 1 o'clock. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ciao.
Thanks, Agnes. Bye,
Thank you.
everybody.
Bye.